Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your reading for the period of March 5th through 18th, 2024. I used to do these readings weekly. I was trying to do 12 per week, but as you probably noticed, you and Pisces kind of ended up getting kind of the short shrift there because I ended up doing those last, and maybe they weren't uploaded until Monday night. So I just decided it would be better if I did 6 signs one week and 6 signs another week. So now these readings will come out every 2 weeks, and alternately every other week I will do 6 signs, which is definitely more manageable, and I want to make sure I'm not too tired or rushing through readings just to get them done. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. It's good to have you. If you're returning to this channel, welcome back. This is a reading for you if you're Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Moon, Aquarius Rising, or have another significant Aquarius placement in your chart that you are checking in this kind of reading. I am doing a full horoscope spread. So this full horoscope spread looks at the 12 houses of astrology, and we interpret tarot with respect to those 12 houses. The main deck I use, for those of you who are familiar, know that I use Murray Hope's Way of Cartouche as my main deck, and I use a tarot deck to clarify, and this week I'm using Crowley's Thoth deck. Our oracle deck for the week that we'll use to summarize at the end will be the Norse runes. If you do like this video, please hit the thumbs up, and leave me a comment if you choose, and definitely if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing so that you don't miss any of these videos. If you hit the notification bell, if the schedule has to change up or move around, then you will know when every reading comes out. If you are interested in any of my other services from my website, liminalreiki.com, my business transition life coaching, including my social media links, they're all down in the description box below. So, okay, with all that out of the way, let's start at the beginning for you. If you're not familiar with how I do these readings, it should become obvious pretty quickly. So, the first house is Aries energy. So, Aries is the first house of astrology, has to do with you, your personality, how you present yourself to the world, how you want other people to see you. And in this house, we have for you the Crook and Flail and the Six of Wands. So, very clearly, you want people to see you, and perhaps you are even feeling as someone who is, got things under control. I mean, Six of Wands is a card of victory and leadership, people looking to you as the expert, as the authority. And similarly, Crook and Flail it has almost the same type of a meaning. It's the idea of someone who is an authority, an expert, someone who's looked up to, someone who is promoted or has a good reputation. This is also a card having to do with truth, being on the right side of things. So if there's a dispute, legal or otherwise, then this generally indicates that you have not that you are on the good side of the law, so to speak. So there's definitely this strong energy for you this week, Aquarius, that you are in charge and that people think of you as such. If we go to the second house here, this is Taurus energy. This has to do with your finances. Okay, so we have water here as the first card. When water shows up in the second house, it can indicate an influx of money, but also an outflowing. So it's the idea that money's both coming in and going out, maybe equally fast. You might, as you earn money, you may be spending it. So that is certainly an aspect of the second house here when you have water there. The other possibility, if your finances, you consider them to be fairly stable and that not to be the case, then this also could just indicate that there's going to be a shift or change in your financial situation, because water is flow and it breaks up stagnation and always brings movement. You have it with the Magician card. So the Magician is about manifesting things, about doing things. So I feel like you are perhaps have taken on, being its card number 1, the Magician, is the one at the top. This is usually indicating that you are at the beginning of something, perhaps a new venture, or maybe you're taking action, taking steps towards something. Because Magician is about manifesting and about making things happen. So I feel like you could be manifesting a financial change here, or you could be taking a situation where there's this, give and take or in and out, and, taking active steps to manifest something that is a bit more stable. Third house is Gemini energy, and Gemini has to do with messages, communications of all types, although this tends to have to do with more practical and mundane things rather than, say, deep thoughts and things like that, which is more the domain of the 9th house, which is opposite this house. The opposition houses in astrology, if you don't know, tend to be related to each other in some fashion. So we're talking about communications that are a little bit more about the day-to-day practical business, those kinds of things. It can also have to do with self-effort. So this, if you're in your own business, that would definitely be an aspect of this house. And also has to do with sibling relationships, brother-sister relationships, as well as travel, but it would be more short-distance travel rather than a longer trip. So, okay, we have Sphinx with the 9 of Pentacles or 9 of Discs. Okay, so 9 of Discs is, okay, well, that first of all is a very good card. It's a card of security. This is known as the card of gain. That's the word that they use on this deck. And oftentimes this is has to do with being self-made in some way. So it's finances that are connected to, they're usually like, this is a card of a single person who is financially stable, okay? And if you're not single, then there's definitely just the sense that there is some kind of security or independence that is coming from your own efforts and not from, external support of some kind. Now, of course, we have it with the Sphinx card. So the Sphinx card indicates that there is a kind of wait and see mode here. Sphinx comes up when in terms of communication, it would be saying, remain passive and wait for messages to come in. Don't put yourself out there. Don't give away secrets, okay? Because Sphinx sometimes implies that there are secrets in a particular situation. So take it as it resonates. There definitely seems to be the idea of keeping something to yourself. Maybe this is what you're keeping to yourself. Maybe you've, landed on a windfall of some kind, and which is going to provide security, but maybe you're not looking to share that with other people. The other possibility is just that you have been feeling very satisfied and self-contained, and maybe haven't felt the inclination. Maybe you felt more inclined to have a retreat or to be on your own. But Sphinx does indicate to me that there's, it has to do a lot to do with secrets that have to be uncovered or information that you're waiting for. So I don't know. There seems to be some kind of information that will be incoming that maybe you are not yet being told, or maybe that you are not telling other people. But it seems to be centered around stability in some way. But I don't feel like this is a negative. I feel like this may be about, like maybe you're having potential good news about something and you're saying, oh, you know what? I don't want to say anything yet. The old saying, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to say something. It could be that kind of energy. As we go through the reading, the reason for this might be clear. It might be clear to you already. But with general readings, I have to read this in the broadest possible terms. So take what applies and leave the rest. Fourth house, this is Cancer energy. So this has to do with the home, your family. It can have to do with your actual sense of personal security. It can also have to do with the mother. And okay, we have Bast with the Priestess. Now, okay, Bast is, okay, this card has a number of different meanings. This is a card of, certainly it's a card of happiness, okay? Let's start there, because that's a very good aspect of this card. It could indicate that you are feeling secure at home, that you are feeling happy. Bast, though, sometimes is somebody who's also would like attention, or like people to notice them or notice what they're doing. Maybe it's that you want people in the family to notice what you're doing, because even though it seems like you are somebody who's very recognized, maybe you're feeling like maybe you feel like there's a family situation where that's not happening, or you're not being seen in some way. Although again, it could literally be that you are being seen, and that you are enjoying that fact. Bast also has a very social element, very creative and social element to me. It often has to do with music and dancing and the arts and even sport and things like that. But there's definitely this celebratory aspect of Bast. You see, it's the sistrum is the actual symbol, and it's got a little kitty cat on the top, because both of these are symbols of the goddess Bast, who is the Egyptian cat goddess. And the Bast festivals were always, they involved the shaking of sistrums and dancing, and it was all kinds of things that went along with it. It was a very, very happy kind of summertime festival, the Bast festivals. So yeah, so there's definitely that energy of happiness, of sharing, of sociability, of being recognized, being noticed, and also about giving other people their due as well. Another very basic meaning of this card is that you need to follow your intuition. Now, with the High Priestess, yeah, we have another strong indicator of intuition here. Priestess can actually also have to do with that mother energy. So I don't know. There could be some intuitions around the home or family, because again, the Priestess has this aspect of something that has not been revealed, or is still veiled or hidden. And I feel like it's weird, because I feel like the energy of it connects very much with what we're seeing in the third house here, this idea of something that's hidden. And the Priestess also is a very strongly independent energy too. So that's interesting that we have 2 cards of independence and 2 cards of secrecy kind of right next to each other, along with cards of intuition and feeling. So I don't know. I definitely feel here like you're definitely recognized and being seen, but you maybe seeking to withdraw a little bit, or to spend time at home, or to spend time with family, or to address family matters of some kind. But it's interesting because it seems between these two houses, there's some situation in which something is either you don't have all the information yet, it hasn't been revealed, or something is being kept a secret. So yeah, interesting. And I've remembered, though, that the 3rd house is also the house of siblings. So I don't know if this is a sibling who's not sharing information about your mother or something like that. Maybe you are just intuiting that something is going on, and you're not actually seeing the situation, or maybe the situation has yet to be revealed. But in any case, yeah, there definitely seems to be this sense of we are still in the time of Pisces. And Piscean energy is very nebulous. It can leave us in a space where we're almost dreamy and imaginative, but also where we could be in a fog and unsure about things and about where they're going. So I'm feeling like this may be saying with a home situation, your intuition is best for kind of perhaps seeing through that fog. It's also worth noting that the period of this reading is going to be part of the Mercury retrograde pre-shadow, because yep, that's coming around again. And Mercury goes retrograde on the 1st of April. Great day, April Fool's Day, for that to happen. The day of day of miscommunication, and it's on April Fool's Day. But there is what they call a pre-shadow period. So those of you who have strong Mercury in your chart somewhere may be very affected by this in advance as well. So it could also be that there are things that are unclear or not seen, perhaps because the retrograde is either obscuring or confusing things, or perhaps there's a time out that needs to be taken and reevaluating what's going on. But it feels like this reevaluation may be more about hidden information rather than necessarily what's obvious. Okay, 5th house is Leo energy. Leo has to do with your with creativity, creative projects, and just your own personal creativity, whatever form that takes, with love affairs, with children. It can also have to do with recreation. Okay, so we have the Horus with the 6 of Cups. Yeah, again, there's a strong family vibe here, or at least a strong vibe of something that connects you to the past or potentially to childhood. This could be a lover, or it could be a love affair. It could be a person from the past who is returning. That is possible here if this has to do with love affairs. This could have to do with a situation with a childhood, or nostalgia for childhood in some way, because I feel like the 6 of Cups has a lot to do with that sense of looking back fondly on something. But there's also a very strong either soul connection vibe or family vibe here. So this could also be somebody coming into your life who is very strongly connected to you on a soul level in some way. Now, Horus is a card that has strong Leo energy in the house of Leo. But this is a card, now, again, for creative ventures, Horus is actually a great card because this promotes creativity of all kinds. So perhaps if you are somebody who deals in some kind of creative thing, remember we're seeing Bast here too, which could be somebody who's an artist, musician, dancer, or something like that. Doesn't have to be. This creativity takes all different kinds of forms, but this could be that you're going to be very inspired and have a burst of creativity. Maybe something from your past is what's going to inspire you. That could be the situation. Could also indicate a person who has this kind of almost heroic qualities of Horus, or Leo qualities of Leo. Maybe somebody who's coming into your life. I mean, after all, you are somebody who's very visible and seen here. So there may be somebody coming in, whether this person's a lover or not, but might be. So you could have somebody returning from the past, or just some kind of strong creative connection to the past, or maybe to childhood. The other possibility, though, is that this entirely has to do with family. So I don't know if there's situations around children that might be going on with this, because this is the house of children. Again, neither card is negative. They're both very, very pleasant, and they both indicate good family relations and relationships. Maybe what's happening here, and this is not going to be true for everybody, but a possibility could be, with the way that these houses are shaping up here, maybe somebody is pregnant or thinks they are pregnant and is not telling you. Maybe they're keeping it a secret right now because maybe they want to make, some people, if they've had difficulties, maybe they want to make absolute sure that that everything is okay before they say anything. So that is also a possibility here for some people. Again, you only take what applies and leaves the rest, because I'm just trying to look at all possible meanings of this house. 6th house is Virgo energy. This has to do with your health. It has to do with any kind of service that you do. So it's work, either work that you do that's paid work for somebody, or work that you do that's volunteer. It can also have to do with worries and anxieties. Virgo energy tends to be very detail-oriented and perfectionist, so it tends to generate a lot of worry in connection with this. But health is also an aspect of this house. Okay, so we have Osiris with adjustment, and adjustment is also known as the Justice card. And the presence of these, okay, so if there has been a health situation, everything seems like it's going to be good, stable, solid. Adjustment would indicate keeping something in balance. So it may be a case, could have to do with work-life balance in the house of work, making sure that you are taking time out for yourself and balancing that with your need to for finances and making money. That may be an aspect that we have here. But there's definitely this strong vibe of being secure, being stable, and also of dealing with the truth of a situation, because the Justice card tends to reveal the truth of situations to us. So yeah, so take that as it resonates. But I do feel like this is a very good omen if there have been health issues, and it does seem to indicate if there are things that you are worried about, or if there's a situation involving a job. Definitely it's telling you to remain balanced, to rely on your judgment. Osiris is strong Sagittarius energy. This card is more Libra energy, as you can see the scales on this card. So yeah, so there's definitely the sense of something that is being kept in balance, something that where you staying true to yourself, perhaps, or true to a situation. And it does seem like that your judgment is trustworthy, and that there definitely seems to be some solid foundations here. So this could be a kind of stability that you are getting from a job, or this could be saying that things you worried about will be solved through this kind of balancing process. 7th house is Libra energy. This has to do with relationships. This would be more legalized relationships, so marriages, business partnerships where there's a formal arrangement, contracts, things like that. It can also be if this house has to do with love affairs and dating and more fun relationships that are more casual. This has to do with relationships that are more serious. Those of you who are single and looking for love and want to know about your prospects for marriage, either with a particular person or generally, that would also be covered by this house. So we have Art with the winged disc. Yeah, he's more Sagittarius energy here. So I don't know. I don't know if there's somebody, the fact that Osiris showed up here, I don't know if there's for some of you, this is somebody at work. I don't know. It could be, or somebody connected with your work. But we definitely have strong Sag energy here. And the Art card is the same as Temperance. And this is about, as you can see, you've got you've got these two, you've got like a griffin and you've got a kind of an eagle, and one is of a fiery color and one is of a cooler color. And this is the idea of the blending of opposites, bringing together of fire and water. It's an alchemical card. So the Art card can indicate, again, very, very similar in the sense to the Libra card of adjustment, even though this is Sag energy. It's definitely the idea of bringing something in harmony, in balance, taking things that may seem like a paradox. Maybe there's a partner that you have who seems very opposite to you, but perhaps you blend very well together. Or you could have a partner who literally is a Sagittarius or who is a very creative person. Because remember, we do have Horus down here. So for some of you, this could be somebody who's very creative. Perhaps a fire sign, because one is Leo and this is Sag, and they're both fire signs. So that's possible. Does not have to be, but it's possible. And yeah, you've got winged disc, which again, this very fire energy, the solar disc here of Ra. And this definitely has to do with success. So you could have a successful partner, maybe who is somebody opposite to you, who you are able to, whatever the opposites are in you, they work well together. They're not, it's not a contentious kind of a situation. And certainly if there have been any kind of contention in any kind of relationship, whether it's a marriage or a business relationship, this would definitely suggest success coming and overcoming obstacles, through this kind of trying to harmonize, trying to define the ways that opposite factors will blend together. Now, 8th house is Scorpio energy, and Scorpio has to do with transformations, so very esoteric, more life-death issues. This is a very deep and esoteric house that tends to be more spiritual in its inflection. And it also has to do with joint finances. So we have Urias with the Lust card, okay? And the Lust card has a little bit of nudity on it, so I'll have to cover that up. But Lust is the same as the Strength card, okay? So again, we have this strong Leo energy. We have this strong Sun energy here. And in Crowley's card, the Lust card has to, it has to do with strength as force. But it's this idea of using one's strength, again, in this very sort of positive, creative way. In traditional decks, we tend to see that card as representing the way in which we show restraint in a particular situation. But this would be more like, this card would be more about having control. It would have to have a certain degree of having control of our impulses. And of being able to, and again, this idea of bringing together opposites. We've got 3 cards now, that the major arcana cards, that's showing this idea of things coming together in some kind of a fashion and a strong passion for something. Now you have this with the Urias card, and when Urias shows up, this is definitely indicating that there is going to be some unexpected twists and turns ahead, because this has to do with major changes that are happening in your life. And whatever these changes are, I mean, the fact that they're connected to this card seems to indicate that they are going to be very, very powerful changes, and changes that are very empowering to you. So, and if I think about the fact that we've got the Priestess here, that we've got the Sphinx card here, I'm trying to see if we have Nephthys anywhere in here. We don't. Okay. So that's the only card that would really be missing here in terms of, secret things being revealed. Urias, though, I always see Urias as a positive. It indicates something, again, that may be secret at the moment and is going to come out and be and represent some kind of very unexpected good news. I always feel that in all the years I've used this, I've never seen Urias represent a true negative. I always see it as representing, because sometimes people say, oh, well, it has to do with hidden enemies or, things like that. Certainly it has to do with the outwitting of hidden enemies. But I feel, and this is in the house of Scorpio, so this is something that could be very deep and very intense here that may be going on. But Urias, I find, tends to come up when we perhaps have anxiety about a particular situation, but things are not as bad as they look. That's usually the way Urias comes up, because there's some circumstance that is off your radar, that you may be looking at a situation and saying, oh, this thing happened, and it happened, and because this happens, this implies X, Y, and Z. Or, I have to worry about this, this, and this. But Urias may be saying, there's a piece there that you're not considering here because you can't see it, okay? But nonetheless, I would suggest in this house, there's going to be some unexpected changes coming in, and they are going to be very strengthening for you. And they may make you impassioned. They may make you move towards a particular direction that you are passionate about in life. So let's look at the 9th house, Sagittarius energy. This has to do with expansion. So long distance travel, higher education, or expanding your education in any way, and the institutions connected with education, as well as perhaps spiritual beliefs, changing or deepening beliefs or learning about things. This would have to do with thought. As I mentioned, the 3rd house is more superficial or practical thought. This is deep thought, okay? So this definitely indicates, branching out, expanding from where you are. Okay, so we have fire with the Princess of Discs. Now, Princess of Discs sometimes is a card it's considered by some to be a card almost of pregnancy. So I don't know if there's somebody potentially who is pregnant at a distance. But Princess of Discs can also just mean nurturing something. It has almost a certain kind of an Empress vibe, but this is more about somebody who has enough to share. And this could be an actual person coming into your life, could be an earth sign person, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or it could be just somebody who is, it could be you. I mean, I don't know, but there's definitely this strong element of being secure, of being nourished, of being healthy, and of sharing. Okay, so this is definitely a fertile environment for expanding your horizons. Maybe you are thinking about something in terms of either going back to school or moving or going someplace. And maybe this is a matter of getting your finances and other things in order that are more practical in nature. Now, fire, again, just like we have this next to the Lust card here, fire definitely indicates a passion for something. So there's definitely, you are looking to expand your horizons in some way. You are looking to resolve paradoxes, find balance in things, both in work, in relationships. And you are definitely in a position where you're being seen as a leader right now. Let's look at your 10th house of Capricorn. This is about your reputation, your fame, your career, and sometimes has father energy connected with it. Okay, so we have Sirius, which is your own energy, Aquarian energy, with the Lovers, which is Gemini energy. Now, the Lovers can indicate a partnership with somebody. It can also indicate a Gemini person, or it can indicate the idea that a choice needs to be made. And again, it's so interesting that we have these things about being two sides being attuned in something, but it's not necessarily saying it in a relationship way. I mean, I think for some of you, this could have to do with a relationship or a new relationship, or somebody maybe who is, maybe somebody coming, possibly somebody from your past, but maybe somebody you're involved with who's very creative, who's going to open horizons and doors for you in terms of your career and visibility. Maybe they're a very visible person. I mean, I don't know, but I feel more like it's you that's the visible person here. But there could be choices to be made here with the Lovers. You may be making certain decisions about your career, whether they involve another person or not. But I'm just seeing a whole lot here about other people being involved. So this may well involve another person here. And I think when I see the Lovers here, yeah, there could be, there's some element of choice here. And again, Sirius energy is about thinking outside the box. It's about, it's another card of strength. It reminds me a little bit of the Lust card over here in the sense that it can have to do with physical strength, physical beauty, and also just with thinking outside the box. Again, there's a sense here that you are thinking and taking practical steps and maybe making decisions. But I think it's encouraging you to think outside the box when you make your decisions, not to do the same old thing. This is strong air energy in an earth house. So yeah, this is definitely about using your mind to try to advance your career or whatever it is that you are offering as a kind of a legacy to people in terms of what you're doing or what you're known for. Now, the 11th house, this is your own energy, Aquarian energy. 11th house has to do with friendships. It has to do with your social networks. It can also have to do with your goals and also your destiny. It's also considered to be a house of that. Okay, so we have Anubis with the Ace of Cups. So perhaps there is new love coming in. Perhaps there's a wish for new love. So for some of you, yeah, this definitely could be a new relationship with someone, or a new romantic start, maybe with somebody again from the past, possibly. I'm not gonna, don't take that as gospel. I mean, it could be somebody from the past, or it could just be a past situation coming around again. But it does definitely seem like there's going to be some kind of a new start, maybe with somebody who's in your friend group, maybe a friend who's going to become a lover of some kind. But there's definitely, yeah, and there definitely seems to be this balancing element. Maybe this is somebody who's going to seem very opposite to you, or maybe this is just a very creative person. If you're not looking for love, if you're already married and so forth, then this definitely seems to indicate some new beginning that is that comes from the heart or is deeply emotionally satisfying in some way. Because cup energy definitely has to do with our feelings. So this may be a new feeling or a new beginning for you. And what we have it with Anubis. So Anubis indicates the need for diplomacy among people. So maybe you have been, maybe you've been working through some struggles with people and trying to remain diplomatic and friendly with people. This has to do with navigating difficult situations, can have to do with travel, but Anubis also has to do with protection. So I am seeing some of these elements of you kind of maybe pulling back a little bit. So maybe even though you have been recognized and out there and friendly, you may be working on this kind of balancing act with yourself. So maybe you've been kind of pulling back and protecting yourself a little bit. Maybe not spending a lot of time with people, or being very cautious about what you share with people. And again, we have that Sphinx energy down here. So for somebody, there's certain things that you might be keeping to yourself just as a means of maybe self-protection or self-healing. But there definitely seems to be some kind of a new beginning coming up, whether this has to do with your wishes, whether this means new love, or just some kind of new start that is very emotionally, a new emotional beginning. Okay, 12th house. This is Pisces energy. This has to do with what is hidden, what you don't show people, what you might be afraid of. And okay, so here's Seth. We have Seth over here. So there's definitely, there's a lot in the external world that's going very well, but unconsciously you may be very nervous or anxious about something. And it's interesting because we have Ankh here again. And so Ankh is definitely, again, this idea of passion. It can have to do with love. So maybe there is unconscious concerns about a love affair. Maybe you're worried that about whether or not maybe a situation might feel too good to be true to you. Maybe you're meeting somebody and you're thinking, wow, and but maybe you might have some doubts and say, I don't know, or maybe you think there's some obstacles. But it doesn't have to do with love necessarily. Again, like we have the lust card over here in the 8th house, this is a card of strong passion. And the fact that I see Urias there too, I don't know. I feel like there's something new that may be coming in, either in terms of love. For somebody here, definitely it's love. But if that's not what you're looking for, if you're already in a relationship, then it just seems like there is a chance. To me, Ankh has to do with what makes us feel alive, what makes us feel vital, what we are passionate about, what we really want to pour our energy into. And I think that there's going to be those opportunities. I mean, you have the 10 of Pentacles here. So this is definitely the culmination of the financial suit. To the 10 of Discs or 10 of Pentacles is this can indicate money coming in from legacies, okay? Because this can have to do with inheritances and things, and it doesn't have to, but it can also just mean, financial abundance. Maybe there's some concerns that following this path, maybe you're concerned about abundance. Maybe you feel like, oh, well, maybe I'm risking my finances, if my finances are good right now or whatever. But, or I don't know, but they're definitely here, though, seems to indicate that something is coming to a successful end, and it's something that would leave you in a very, very stable position. The fact that I'm seeing all of this stability here, I don't know. There just seems to be messages. Some of these are definitely surrounding your financial stability, possibly family stuff too, because 10 of Pentacles has a strong family vibe. Maybe there's some worries about that. Maybe, maybe there's some worries about the finances of a family member or something. I mean, I don't know. The fact that this is showing up in the house of worry, and not the house of worry, but rather the house of what's hidden, it does seem to me that security may be an issue for you, whether or not maybe you're going to be able to do the kind of things that you want to do. Or again, this could be connected to a love or a family situation specifically, but there do seem to be certain fears here. Nonetheless, with these cards turning up, I really don't think, I feel like this anxiety is going to be something that's going to be put to rest at some point. Everything here just looks really, really good for new beginnings. It does seem like there could be some unexpected things around the corner, but there's nothing here that suggests to me that those unexpected things are going to be a catastrophe of any kind, okay? In fact, overall, I mean, you've got the 10 of Cups, you've got the Wish card, okay? That's actually really, really good. So you've got another 10 here. You've got two 10s. So definitely the idea of certain things ending, and we also have cards of new beginnings. You have a 9 here too, which is like almost being done with something. So yeah, this is definitely a card of wishes granted. This, again, strong family vibe with this card. So this is more, just like we have the 9 of Pentacles that is more about you individually, this would also be about you in a community, whether it's with your actual family or just with others you care about. And with the twins, yeah, there's definitely the sense of not going it alone, okay? This could be a new relationship, or it could just be partnering with others for your success and for the granting of your wishes. Now, let's do a Norse rune. Let's pull one to see what message, okay, what message do we have for Aquarius? March 5th to March 18th, 2024. Okay, so we have the rune Berkana. Now, when you look at it here, it's actually, it's hard to tell, but it is actually in reverse, okay? With the way the camera looks, it's hard to tell. But Berkana, okay, Berkana is a rune of growth, okay? So this has to do with planting seeds, with things growing. And when it's in the reverse, it could be that maybe there are some concerns about how something is growing, or whether something is growing in the direction that you want it to. Maybe that's the fear that we have here. But this would suggest to us that there may be a need for correction of something. We may need to take a second look at something, and then once we, prepare, as they say, prepare the ground and till with care, and correct whatever that imbalance perhaps might be, then blossoming will occur. But there could be something right now that may be challenging that growth. But I don't consider Berkana reverse to be all that serious of a thing. It does seem to indicate growth and movement forward. But this could just be saying in the reverse that Right now, maybe it's not obvious that things are growing, or maybe some things may be delayed a little bit. But I don't feel overall that is a, I don't feel like Berkana reverse is a big negative. It could be that some of your fears are coming up because maybe you can't quite see yet what is coming. But everything looks really great for you, Aquarius. I feel like you are definitely moving into an area where you of balance, of integration, of looking at past situations and relationships and so forth and resolving things, which is actually a really great use of Mercury retrograde energy when it comes in. It's a period of correction and reevaluation. So so I just feel like that is what you are moving towards right now. So really, overall, great reading, Aquarius. I mean, looks like you're going to have a really great couple of weeks. Hopefully this means that the retrograde for you will actually be something that helps you. There may be some delays, but maybe that's going to fix some things that have been problematic. So I hope it's a really great one for you. And if you enjoyed this reading, please leave me a thumbs up, a comment if you choose. And if you haven't subscribed, do consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.